You were tuned in to episode 115 the Goodfellas podcast. It's your boy G5 Jeff TV, aka G5, aka 5, aka the Guru. Only man I know that can wear a pimp robe and get your wife beater the next day, man. My man VP Shane. What's going on with you, baby?
I'm good, man. It's been hot out here today, so
Man, it is cooking out here, bro. Like it is cooking. It's like definitely probably like in the high 80s, low 90s, something like that, man. But big shout out to everybody, man. Man, tomorrow it's going down, man. It is going down. AJ Usyk, Figueroa, Lipinets, bunch of other fights we gotta get into, man. Like this is a real good weekend for fights. I think we even got fights on tonight. Navarrete, Bayless.
yeah.
We got fights on Pro Box TV. I think they come on in a couple minutes. Herkovich and Zhang, Big Bang Zhang. That's a vlogs guy.
So
man.
we got to start off promotion. If you guys haven't, you guys still got 24 hours. You got 24 hours to make your predictions for tomorrow.
That's a fact.
We've got a few predictions in already. So
I'm putting mine in. Yeah, I'm putting mine in right. I'm putting mine in right after right after the show. But this is where you need to be, man. G5JeffTV.com, man. And for the people that don't know, I'm gonna give you a quick tutorial.
That play button. Just click that play button.
You click this play button, right? So this is the front screen for G5JeffTV.com.
You want me to explain? You want to explain? You can explain.
Yeah, so you hit the play button, right? So let's see. All right, why it ain't going nowhere?
You're already on the page, that's why.
Okay. So if you on the screen, right, and you scroll down, all of the fights are gonna be here. All the fights are gonna be here. Joshua Usyk, you just hit the pick button and you make your pick. Badu Jack, Rivera, take your pick. Herkovich and Zhang, take your pick. Andrew Tabiti fight, take your pick. You got 20.
He's not fighting. He's not fighting Sprung anymore. So I've actually uploaded it, I just haven't done it, but it's still there. You can still make it.
Figueroa Lipinets, pick that fight. Navarrete, pick that fight. These are the fights. Basically, we got 6 fights on the docket. And then we had a side pot as well. Extra cash prize, get your ticket. You're gonna see that here. You can hit register now. So basically a side pot. So we basically have the free version where is $500 for the winner, $200 for the second place, $100 for the third place. And then we have something called a side pot where basically you could put $10 in, and whoever puts $10 in will be eligible to win the entire pot. Plus, you could do head-to-head bets on there as well. So if you want to, if I wanted to bet Shane on the, on the Herkovich and Zhang fight, we could bet $10, $15. We both, put it in the pot for that particular fight. Whoever gets the prediction correct or get it closest, will win the bet or whatever our stipulations are at the end of the day. And then we would just ship the money off to whoever the winner was. So, this is completely different than the first season and the second season, and you're not gonna find a prediction league like this, like point blank period. So I'm gonna get out of the take your pick. So I'm gonna actually just gonna go just to the website period. So this is the front screen, right? So when you get here, you just click the play button. And it takes you here. Now, this is what I want you to do. Side pot.
And sign up for that.
You can sign up for that. You hit the sign up button right here. Very simple.
Or you X out there.
Your X button is here. We probably should make that white, make it a little easier for some
Yeah, but
people to see it.
obviously once you press the X button there, that will take you to the main take your pick page.
Right. So when you highlight the X button to say back to the site, so it takes you back here. You just scroll down. That's it. You just scroll down and it takes you right to the fights. And you just hit the pick button and you make your pick. Now, for example, I'm gonna go Usyk Joshua. So I'm gonna click here. I just want to show you what the screen looks like. So this is the screen. So you put your name here, name. You put your email here, email, right? So I'm not gonna fill it all out, but I'll put my name here and I'll just put an email here. Now the result. If you think Usyk is gonna win, you click Usyk win. You think Joshua is gonna win, you click Joshua win. If you think it's gonna be a draw, you click draw. Let's just say I think Joshua is gonna win. You click Joshua win.
Method.
Method of result. This is how the fighter is gonna win the fight. So, if you think Joshua's gonna win by knockout, and that's knockout, TKO, either one, Joshua by KO. Okay. Or if you think Joshua's going to win by decision, you click Joshua points. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you both examples. Now, if you think Joshua's going to win by KO, you click Joshua by KO. Now you have to predict what round you think is going to happen in. So you click round, and you can pick any round between 1 and 12. If you think it's going to be a knockout in round 10, you pick 10. If you think it's going to be 6, you click 6.
So how the point system works is if you get the right result, you get 1 point. If you get the right method, you get 2 points. And if you get the right round, you get 7 points. And
There
that
you go.
all goes towards the league. Now, if you pick all the fights correctly, obviously you win the league. That's $700, $500 for you right there. So
Right. So, now the one thing I have to warn you guys, if you think he's going to win by decision and you click Joshua points or Usyk points, you're automatically going to go to round 12 here.
yeah,
Automatically go to round 12 because it's a 12 round fight. If the fighter's going to win by decision, then it has to be 12 rounds. Okay. And
right.
then you hit place your pick, and then your pick will go through. A message will come up down the bottom saying that your pick is going through. And then you go back and then you go to the next fight and you hit pick and then you go through the same process again. Now, I'll put this back up in a couple of minutes, but the one thing I want to tell people is if you have to make a switch and it's absolutely necessary that you're making a switch, please email us, contact at g5jeftv.com. It's a little late in the game for that right now, but if you absolutely need to, send us an email. If you're following us on social media, you can hit us up on social media. Let us know you sent the email, and we'll basically take it from there. L Dub the plug is in the building. Big shout out.
Jeff,
Yes,
let me
sir.
give me 15 minutes. I'll be back.
No problem. No problem at all. No problem. L Dub the plug, man, one of the hottest guys in the game, man, one of the hottest insiders in the game, man. I call him L Dub the plug, man. The block Mike Cop. You understand what I'm saying? Big shout out to L Dub the plug, man, for sure. One of my favorites. Pennant, what's going on? Said if Bellator, UFC, 1FC, MMA did not exist, will we have a lot more boxing matches? We would have a lot more boxing matches, but I think it'll be lower quality because all of those guys that's in MMA will be trying to box. And I think they would just be fighting on a lower level. And promoters would take advantage of that. They would try to take advantage of them, offering them low pay and bad venues. But the cards will probably be fire. They probably be all action, but just it'll be more fights. It'll just be less, less quality, to be honest with you. Sebastian Fundora versus Carlos Ocampo, October 8th. I did not know that. That is a good fight. That's a good stay busy fight for Fundora. Ocampo ain't nothing to sneeze at, but Fundora that dude right now, for sure. Fundora is that dude, man. So big shout out to Sebastian Fundora. He's right on the heels of a title shot. I even read in an interview he was willing to come down to 47 to see Spence if he had to. I couldn't imagine him at 47. I can barely imagine him at 54. Like he looked like two chopsticks with shoes on. Like it's just crazy, with Sebastian Fundora, man. But we gonna we gonna get into this Saturday's fights, man. Usyk, AJ, um, the rematch, and I haven't really talked about it that much. I gotta wait. I said it Wednesday. I just think something weird gonna happen with this fight. I think a knockdown is definitely gonna happen. I don't know who's getting knocked down, but somebody's getting knocked down. And I got a weird feeling about this fight. Now, I haven't made my prediction yet. I haven't made it on G5FTV.com. Um, but I'm pretty sure I know who I'm picking. But you can watch the first fight and actually, if you a hardcore boxing fan, you watch that first fight and you have to think of a game plan for Anthony Joshua to win this fight. Like, what do you come up with? Like, what are the things that you can come up with that AJ is capable of doing to put him in a better position to win this fight? So, people that's in the comment section and people that's watching, definitely, um, give me your answers, in the comment section. What are AJ's keys to the victory? I think with Usyk, I'm gonna skip Usyk because I think Usyk, we've never seen Usyk not fight his style of fight. So I want answers for AJ. What can AJ do? What's the top three things AJ can do to win this fight? What can he do? Now, for me, there's a couple of things. I felt like with the first fight, AJ really was trying to, you could see him trying to think his way through the fight. Like nothing AJ was doing looked like it was flowing naturally. You understand what I'm saying? Everything just looked like it was just slow, methodical, just he was thinking before he was thinking before he was acting, and you can't do that in the ring. That's dangerous. That's dangerous, and it's not productive. So for me, for AJ, I think the first thing he needs to do is actually just get comfortable. I know that sounds weird because it's not anything technical. Like, get comfortable in front of Usyk. Like, get comfortable in front of him. And what I mean by that is when AJ's in front of Usyk, go through your process offensively to try to get yourself in a good position to succeed. Now, for example, just because Usyk is a southpaw doesn't mean you can't throw that left jab. Now, it might have to be a looping, it might have to be a jab on an angle or something like that, but he can't abandon the left jab. Like, he has to at least flash it. You know what I'm saying? He has to flash it, and he has to at least throw the straight right hand out there, the lead right hand out there. He had a little bit of success with that in the first fight, but it was more of like a counter shot. So that would be my first piece of advice for AJ. Get comfortable inside of the ring against Usyk. You've been in there with him before. You was in trouble in the last round, but you didn't get knocked down or anything. You just lost a boxing match, so I know AJ's not the most comfortable with the southpaws, but he's going to have to get comfortable inside of the ring. And I think with that comfort, it's going to lead to the second thing that I think AJ needs to do, and he just needs to fight freely. And what I mean by that is just to not overthink things. Like, because when AJ tries to overthink things, his movements, he's already stiff to an extent. Like, he's even more stiff when he's trying to think his way through a fight. So it's almost like, should I throw the right hand? Should I throw the left? And you see him just doing a lot of posturing, and he's like wasting time, and he's just not being productive. So I think that's the second thing he need to do is just let the punches flow. Like, just let it flow. Get comfortable. Let the punches flow. Third thing I think he needs to do: don't load up on every shot. Do not load up on every shot. AJ's gas tank is a definite question mark when he steps into the ring. I mean, we've seen him go through 12 rounds with no problem if it's at a controlled pace. If he increases the pace a little bit, we've seen him gas out mid, late in the fight. You understand what I'm saying? So I think for AJ, don't load up on every single shot. Just touch him. Just touch him. Whether it's on the arms, the elbows, the forearms, the chest, the hips, the thighs, punch him in his kneecap, whatever you got to do to just get that feeling of you landing a punch on Usyk early in the fight. That's the third thing. And I think the most important thing for AJ in this fight is just show some dog. Like, show some pit bull, because you're gonna have to show some pit bull in this fight, because Usyk is he's gonna outclass AJ in a boxing match. So AJ needs to switch it up. He needs to box at times. He needs to get a little bit dirty at times. He needs to use his size at times, body shots. And I know what I'm asking for is a lot from AJ. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm asking for a lot. Like, I'm asking for him to get comfortable against Usyk. Usyk makes people very uncomfortable with his style, his stance, and just how he moves inside the ring. Me asking AJ to get comfortable, that's asking a lot. Second thing is to be free with his punches. Just let him flow. That's difficult to do because a lot of times Usyk takes himself out in and out of range. He's the master of distance, and he just does a lot of things technically well inside the ring. So that won't be easy. Third thing, don't load up on the shots. AG's a big boy. He's a big boy. It's hard asking a big guy like that to not load up on the shots, and he lost his title against Usyk. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be coming in there, really trying to land something nice on Usyk, but he can't load up on every single shot. So if he gotta go too light, and then a third light, and then come with the hard shot, that fourth shot, that's what he needs to do. And then the fourth one is he really just needs to he needs to work. Like, he just needs to work. I just felt like in the first fight he was just doing too much posturing and too much thinking, and he was trying to figure things out. Like, AJ, just go in there and just work. Just work. Like, Usyk is gonna land where he's gonna land, whether you think overthinking or underthinking. Usyk is gonna land his shots. You understand what I'm saying? But the name of the game is, I'm like, you have to impose your size and your will on Usyk and get him to thinking. Another thing is AJ needs to be up after the first half of the fight, and he needs to land something solid. He needs to land something solid or significant in the first half of the fight, and he needs to be ahead on the cards first half of the fight. If he's gonna go the distance, I think he needs to land something crazy the first half of the fight to really, really give himself a chance. But we're gonna see what happens. I mean, Eddie Hearn has been extremely confident. AJ looked like he's confident. You haven't really heard too much from Usyk. They had to weigh in today. Usyk was about 221, and I think AJ was about 240 or 244, one of the two. And Usyk basically looked the same in a sense. They were saying he was going to come in like heavy, but you know that wasn't the case. But this is going to be a fantastic fight, and I know a lot of people think Usyk is gonna win this fight the same way he won the first fight. But the one thing I will say is that Usyk expect a different AJ. Like AJ, I think he's gonna honestly come in and try to really put his best foot forward to try to win this fight. And he's not even a big underdog. Like he's like a plus like 160, 165, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. You know what I mean? People thinking AJ got a real shot here. So we're gonna see what happens with that. Kind of moving on a little bit. We got the Sergey Lipinets and Omar Figueroa fight. That's gonna be a real good fight. And to be honest with you, I like that fight more than the Figueroa and Broner fight. I like it a lot more because the one thing I know about Sergey Lipinets is he's gonna throw. Like he's gonna throw his shots, and he's definitely gonna throw his shots. You understand what I'm saying? And it's just more of a fan friendly fight. With Broner, first let me get this out of the way. Let me get this out of the way real quick. Adrian Broner pulled out of the fight for quote unquote mental health reasons. So for me, I don't like the question whether someone is suffering from mental health. So I'm not going to do that. The one thing I will say to Broner is number one, just as a man and as an athlete, as a boxer, just get yourself together. Whatever's going on, get yourself together. That's number one. But the main message I want to get a Broner, and I'm a fan of Broners. I'm a fan of Broners, flaws and all, inside the ring and outside of the ring. Bro, you can't expect to get preferential treatment at this point. Like your name is not heavy in these streets no more. Like that's just the bottom line of it. You can't walk in a room and say, "Hey, I'm AB. I deserve a main event slot." Hey, I'm AB. I'm a four-time world champion. You know what I mean? In four different weight classes. I need a co-main event spot, or I need the biggest venues, or I need this and I need that. Nah, bro. Like when the last time you looked good in a fight from wire to wire was like 2015, 2016. Um, and your last fight, people thought you lost that fight against Giovanni Santiago, and you've had other questionable fights. You've done questionable things outside of the ring. You bailed out of this fight for mental health reasons. You can't walk when the day you decide to walk back into the sport and walk into Al Heyman's office and to try to get a fight. You can't expect to get the Floyd Mayweather treatment, the superstar treatment, or none of that type of treatment. That's the main message I want to get to Adrian Broner. That's the main message I want to give. Like them days of you walking in the room and you control the room and all that, when it comes down to the sport of boxing, them days are done. Them days are done. You got to start from the bottom, from scratch, and you got to work your way up. You a name, we all know that. We all know that you made a really good run when you was at your peak, but you can't come back in the game expecting people to trust you. You can't come back in the game expecting for people to give you star treatment, let alone superstar treatment. And at this point, bro, you need a win. You need a quality camp and a quality win. Like, forget who it's against, forget where it's at, how many cameras is on, how many people are in the stands. You need a quality camp and a quality win. And this is from a fan. I'm a fan of AB. I'm a fan of AB. He don't frustrate me at all. Like, he's just a hood dude. He just a hood dude at the end of the day. You understand what I'm saying? So when it comes down to it, Broner got to look in that mirror, whether it's mental health issues or whatever other issue he has going on. He has to look in the mirror, and that mirror's been in the same room with him for his whole career. He just refused to look in it. Bro, look in that mirror, man. Look in that mirror and ask yourself, what do you want to do? And if you want to be a great fighter or just a fighter just putting enough food on the table for your family, take it serious. Take it serious and do everything correctly. And you got to earn people trust back, man. You can't just walk in a room and you expect people to trust you or believe in you. You got to earn that now, just like you did in the beginning of your career. So hopefully everything works out. But for Omar Figueroa and Sergey Lipinets, it's going to be a dog fight, man. It's going to be a dog fight. Sergey Lipinets is already in camp. He was already working. I'm pretty sure Figueroa probably knew there was a chance that he wasn't going to fight Broner. Like, I thought it was a chance that he wasn't going to fight Broner because I thought either one of them or both of them wasn't going to make weight. I definitely thought that. But Al Heyman is smart. He always keeps somebody as a backup on the card. You know what I'm saying? And of course, you don't see Bob Arum and them doing that a lot, because you got to pay guys extra money. You got to pay guys extra money to stay in shape, stay in camp as a alternate or a replacement. You know what I'm saying? And it's like basketball. You're calling somebody off the bench, six man. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is basically with Sergey Lipinets. But this is a great replacement opponent. Sergey Lipinets got a pretty good shot at winning this fight. I think Figueroa has a lot of holes in his game defensively. I think Lipinets' shots are more compact. Um, I feel like he throws the more meaningful shots, and Figueroa kind of has an old school type style. That's an old school style where you come into the ring and you just throw punches, just balls to the wall, and you just have really no regard for defense. You just throwing a bunch of punches. Like your defense is volume offense, and that's what Figueroa brings to the table. And that style is old. That style is old. It's old. It's outdated, and you're not gonna become a champion fighting like that. Just not being defensively aware. So I think Lipinets is gonna have all the opportunities in the world to look impressive offensively in this fight. But I do think it's gonna be a firefight, though. I do think it's gonna be a firefight for sure. But we got so much more action, man. Man, Herkovich and Big Bang Zhang. Herkovich and Big Bang Zhang, man. Like, that's a really, really good fight. Zhang, just he one of the big heavyweights, and Herkovich ain't small neither. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be a good fight. Herkovich, it was at one point they was calling him the boogeyman. You couldn't get nobody to get in the ring with him. But Big Bang Zhang stepped up to the plate. We got that fight, and I think that's gonna be a real good fight. It's definitely not going the distance. I can tell you that. Somebody's getting stopped, in that fight for sure, man. But this weekend of fights, man, is amazing. Amazing set of fights, man. And then we got the Navarrete fight that's going down. And Navarrete, the thing about Navarrete, I was explaining this. I think it was Wednesday. It was Tuesday or Wednesday, and I was saying that Navarrete fights the same level of opponent every single time. Like, so they just moving it like this, just straight across the board, man. Mark Nash in the building said, G5 Jeff, what up? Big shout out to you, bro. Big shout out to you, man. Hey, Mark, man. If you're not already on here, man, G5JeffTV.com, man. Make your picks, man. $500 for the winner of the league, $200 for second place, $100 for third place. We got a side pot in there as well, man. Absolutely free. Absolutely free to join the league, man. Definitely get in there, G5JeffTV.com, man. Definitely get in there, make your picks for this Saturday's fights. I think we got it's going to be 5 fights on the board. We got one of them on there that shouldn't be on there, but man, it's gonna be epic. This is the 3rd season of the Prediction League, man. Big shout out to Joseph Gwilt. That's a season 1 winner, and my man won the 2nd season. Will Stokes, I mean, VP Shane back in the building, man. Was just running through the fights, man. I was just saying Navarrete fights the same level of opponent every single fight.
Literally,
Like
literally.
literally, and he just that's why he always looks good, like consistently. Like he's like the model consistency, like as a champion. But part of that is because of his level of opponents. Like they give
I
him
mean,
that B
I mean,
minus guy.
you love him to see him fight one of the other top dudes at 126. You know, even a Ray Vargas, Gary Russell, somebody.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would love to see him in there. And the one thing about Navarrete, he has one of the best punch varieties in the sport.
But
Um, Punch variety is absolutely crazy. But Shane, I'm gonna get back into. I was talking about the AJ Usyk fight, and
what did you think of the weighting, by the way?
um, I didn't really have any major opinions on it. Like everybody came in the way I thought. I think Usyk was 221. I
The
think
same as it was the last fight.
same as he was the last fight. I think that was done by design. Me personally, um, AJ was 240 or 44.
244.
244. Um, yeah, I like the way Joshua looked steady. Like he didn't look like overly hype or anything like that. He looked focused. Like he looked focused. He didn't have like that eye of the tiger look, but I'm not really looking for that from him. But he looked steady. He didn't look stiff to me. That's one thing about AJ when he does a weigh in. I'm looking to see if he looks stiff. He didn't look stiff to me. I think he's ready. I think the thing that's gonna make him pay is the trainer he picked. I think that's really gonna be a big factor in this fight. And
I mean, this is the thing. Like a lot of people are commending the trainers and that the pick, you know, that he got Robert Garcia, and I'm just like, their excuse for it or their justification is the fact that he's an aggressive coach who trains aggressive fighters. But what I
Mhm.
keep telling people is those fighters, comes natural. When you think of Robert Garcia, the first thing you think of is Mikey Garcia or Maidana. Those fighters are both, you know, they're used to that style of fighting. They've been
Mhm.
born into aggressive style of fighting. I don't know if you've ever been into a Mexican gym. Obviously, you see footage all the time, but Mexican fighters they're accustomed to certain types of fights. So
Right.
he's working with a fighter who isn't used to that. He's not
Yeah.
used to being under attack. You got to understand, Mexican fighters, they dish it out and they can take it. That's my
Right.
point. When you got a
Right.
fighter like Greg Hackett says with no chin insurance, you putting him into a firefight, I mean,
Yeah.
there's only one winner. You know, you're Maidana, all of the fighters he's had, Maidana, Garcia, Rodriguez, whoever you want to look at, none of them have great head movement. None of them have
Yeah.
great head movement. None of them have great defensive instincts. He doesn't coach defensive instincts. And to me, when I watched the first fight, it was the defense and the mindset that was the biggest problem for me. And
Right.
Robert Garcia doesn't correct neither. He doesn't correct
Yeah.
neither. To me, like AJ was getting hit with way too much straight lefts. Way too much straight lefts. He was getting hit with way too much jabs. Those things aren't going to get better by hiring Robert Garcia. The fact that he was able to get hurt several times in that fight to the chin, that's not going to help by hiring Robert Garcia. It doesn't. Robert Garcia doesn't even help mask or paper over the cracks that are evidently there. He doesn't even do that. He actually exposes it because by you being more aggressive means you're more susceptible for attack. You're more susceptible for counters. So to me, and this is just me being completely unbiased, I don't see how hiring Robert Garcia has done him any benefit, to be honest, other than the fact that McCracken isn't in his corner. But I can't see how that's helped him at all.
Yeah, I just, and I kind of thought about it earlier, and I'm like, what can Robert Garcia bring to the table? And I'm like, only thing I could come up with, and I was like, AJ didn't even need this. I'm like, he's a U.S. name, like that. That's it. Like I'm like, that's it. I'm like, Robert Garcia is not gonna have him improving his jab. It's not gonna help him improve his footwork. He's not gonna help him with head movement, which is side to side movement. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna get below no shots. He's not gonna help AJ leave out the back door with his hands up. When he got caught with that sweeping hook, was it the 5th round?
Yeah.
He got caught with that sweeping hook. He was trying to back out. And he didn't even have his hands all the way down. Like he had them like near his chest, but I mean that's still down. And he just caught a clean one. You know, I just if Joshua's gonna win this fight, he gonna have to win this fight on his own. Like
He's
seriously.
going into war with no cavalry. No cavalry.
Yeah.
No, like you're solely by yourself in this one, bro.
Yeah, no,
Be-
no, no
Because
backup, no
Robert
nothing
Garcia is gonna ask him to do stuff
that
that
he can't do.
he naturally it doesn't come natural to him. It just
Mm-hmm.
doesn't come natural to him. Where you can tell Maidana to do it, where you can tell Franco to do it, or Rodriguez or Mikey to do it, it doesn't come natural to AJ. You see my
Mm-hmm.
point? And
Yeah,
you can't train someone to go against, because when things go wrong, everybody reverts back to type. That's
correct,
just that's
correct,
just
correct,
nature. When things
100%
go
correct.
wrong, people revert back to type, and that's my issue. If he doesn't get AJ Usyk out there in the first 4 or 5 rounds, it's gonna be a thinking fight. At this point, it's gonna be a thinking fight. So what happens then?
No, it's a fact, man. That's a fact. T Finney in the building. Hold on, the hell I just do. My bad. T Finney in the building, man. Big shout out to you. He said salute, bro. I couldn't make this one, but I'm tuned in for sure. The tickets for the local card I told you about are cheap. I'm still asking around. Also, I made a few picks on the website. Seen
Yeah, I
that?
saw that. I saw that.
Definitely appreciate that, bro. Stacy, what's going on? I don't know what this means, but I'm gonna read it. HBO tied Porsche count. I don't know if you in the right chat room, but you know, welcome you anyway. G5JeffTV.com. Get your ass over there, make some picks. You know what I'm saying? Prediction Fantasy League, $500 for the winner, $200 for second place, $100 for third, side pot, side action, all that good stuff.
Well, how does AJ win this fight?
First thing, the first two things has nothing to do with like technical stuff. Like I think number one, I think he has to get comfortable in there. Like I know against Southpaws, he's not really comfortable, but I'm like, you've been in the ring with Usyk, you was in trouble, but he didn't put you down. You know what I'm saying? You had a few good moments in the fight, and I think that's the first thing. He needs to get comfortable in there. Like, don't be tense. That's number one. Number two, I don't want him to load up. Don't load up on the shots. Like you said, Wednesday, just make sure you touch him. Make sure
Yeah.
you touch him.
That's how you
Yeah.
get comfortable, though. When you're
That's how
touching
you get
something,
cut.
you build
Exactly.
momentum, you get rhythm.
Right. You know, just let the hands flow, but don't overload on the shots because he's gonna make you miss some. So if you got a lot of steam on them shots and you're missing, you're gonna get tired quicker. So
Easier to counter as well.
easier to counter as well. Number two, forget them headshots first couple rounds. Forget them headshots. Usyk is extremely hard to hit early in the fight because a lot of the time he's moving. Now
You
he
say
didn't
that
move as
though,
much.
Jeff. He can't be obvious with the body shots neither.
Nah,
Like
nah, nah,
you can't
nah.
like I don't know if you guys remember the Wilder fight when Wilder just came out and threw everything to the body. You know, jabs
Yeah,
to the body, but you just don't want to be doing that. You
yeah,
don't want to be doing that. You get telegraphed too easy, and like there's
yeah,
a saying that Jeff always says, you don't want to trade headshots
Body.
or body shots. It's just not a
Yeah, that's
good
a fact.
exchange. Like you're not gonna
Yeah,
get a good exchange of it. So
yeah. I'm not going to trade in quarters like dollar bills for quarters. You know
literally,
what I mean? Like, so I think that's another thing that Joshua needs to do.
like
Mhm.
a lot of people forget that whilst body shots get your opponent's hands to drop, it also gets your hands to drop because you can't throw body shots from up here. You have to
Mhm.
throw body shots from a lower trajectory for them to
Correct.
land.
Hmm.
So your hands naturally drop, which means if someone's gonna counter you with a headshot, you're wide open when you load up on a body punch, or even when you
Yeah,
try to put combinations together to the body.
yeah. And the beautiful thing about body shots is, you can throw hundreds of punches to the head. If you land a good 10 to 15 solid body shots throughout the course of a couple of rounds, you can get the effect that you want
Right.
off of those shots. Like when we say body shots, do body work, we mean land meaningful body shots. And we're talking about shots to slow your guy down, shots to get him thinking, shots to make his hands drop. And you don't have to be down there all day long. If you throw 60 punches in a round, give me 15 to 20 to the body. Give me 15 to 20 to the body. It don't take a lot to get your opponent's attention if you're landing effective body shots. So Joshua's going to have to be careful playing that game a little bit, but I do think he need to sneak a couple. He need to sneak a couple in there, and I would say the final thing, Shane, and I hate to say it, I don't want to sound like a hater or nothing like that. He got to hope Usyk got an off and having an off night.
Facts.
You gotta hope he having an off night, man. And I think that's the only way Joshua beats Usyk is
The,
if
the,
Usyk is on his B game. But we
the,
haven't
the,
seen we've very few times we've seen Usyk on his B game.
the issue with me is, and this is just the big issue, is the fact that Usyk knows what cards he's going to play. Usyk knows what cards AJ is going to play.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care what sport you're playing. I don't care what it is, what competition where it is. If I can see your playbook, I already have an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the issue. Usyk already knows AJ's playbook. Come out aggressive, throw more punches. He already knows that. So he would have
Right.
set up an entire camp for that type of style. He would have been physically and mentally prepared for those moments.
Right.
It doesn't matter what sport it is. If I know your game plan, you can't. It doesn't have to be sport. It could be anything. If I know what you're going to do, it's 1-0 to me already. I'm 1 up. I'm already up.
That's like if you got vlog on your screen, like I'm already prepared for Emmanuel Tagu to come up in the conversation. Like you know what I'm saying?
Literally.
Like it's just if you got church on your screen, you know it's gonna be some slick talking going on. Like you just know. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think Usyk fought about as well as you could against AJ in the first fight without putting himself in harm's way. Perfect balance of being close enough but far enough too.
The
Uh
thing is, AJ will get attacked though. AJ will get his
yeah,
attack though.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
for
whether
sure.
he can sustain it over a period to make it count. That is where the question marks come. Can
Yeah.
he sustain these attacks over a long enough period to make it count? And whilst he's getting these attacks off, what's coming back at him? Because I'll tell you this for free. I'll tell you, I don't even need to watch the fight to know. The moment AJ gets hurt in that fight and Usyk gets AJ's respect, Usyk's won the fight. The moment that happens,
Yeah.
Usyk's won the fight.
Either
Because,
either that or the second he started getting tired.
yeah,
Like visibly tired.
visibly tired. Once that happens, you've lost the fight. Because
Yeah.
there's two things AJ can't do and you can't learn how to do. Something that is natural. For one, he don't know how to fight hurt. And for two, he doesn't know how to fight tired. Those are two things he just doesn't know how to do. And
And
the
you don't know how
best
to fight
thing,
going backwards neither.
literally, the best thing Usyk is good at is making you work when you want to rest. Whenever you want to rest, that's when Usyk's working the most. That is when Usyk's working the most. So for me, the moment Usyk knows, okay, I've hit this dude and I've hurt this dude, AJ's gonna have to be in a situation where he's gonna have to question himself. How much do I want it? How much do I want it? Because at that point, you're gonna have to look at it like, well, someone's gonna get knocked out. It's either me or you. And we
Yeah.
didn't see that in the Ruiz fight. We didn't
Correct.
see that in the Usyk fight.
Right.
In both fights, we saw him try to, survive. And at
Facts.
some point, he's gonna have to go for broke.
Yeah, and that's the dangerous thing, because like even if he hurts Usyk and he goes for the gusto and he doesn't get it, he's gonna be gassed out. He's gonna be gassed out,
Like,
and
you ain't gonna get your legs back.
he's still going. It's still gonna be a wrap. Like I.
That's my issue, bro. Because you remember in the Pulev fight when he hurt Pulev early in the fight,
Mm-hmm.
and then he still couldn't get Pulev out there straight away. It was a few rounds before he was able to, because he tried to empty the tank. He got a little bit tired. He took a couple rounds off, and then he knocked him out. You can't do that against Usyk.
Yeah.
The moment you have to knock him out, that's the only moment you're gonna get. You ain't gonna get no more other than that.
And in that fight, you're 100% correct. But the one thing AJ did do is, even though he was trying to get his second win, offensively, he didn't get greedy. He went through the exact same process to, set up the money shots like he did earlier in that fight. That was the one positive that I seen. But the thing is, he was able to fight at his pace.
Yeah,
He was able to fight at his pace, and he really wasn't worried about nothing coming but that wild overhand right that
and
he
if
was
you get
throwing.
caught with that,
You
you ain't in
deserve
the
the
wrong
yeah,
sport.
you deserve that's kind of like that Fury uppercut against Dillian White.
Yeah,
Like,
bro. You
yeah,
deserve to get knocked. If you're getting caught with that, bro, you deserve to get knocked out, because
you deserve to get knocked out.
that should have been telegraphed every day, bro.
Yeah, like, so that's the thing. Like AJ is he got a lot to overcome. Like, I think he has a lot to overcome within his own corner. I think mentally he has a lot to overcome. Then the physical things that Usyk brings to the table that he's better at. Joshua's going to have a career type night, and Usyk's going to have an off night. I almost want to say, for Joshua's sake, he needs to have a Teofimo Loma first half of the fight.
Yeah, situation. Yeah,
where just you like, what the hell's going on with him? Like, you know what I mean?
he's almost gonna have to do what Teofimo Lopez done as well, which was. But the issue with Teofimo Lopez is he was faster than Lomachenko in the fight. His hands was definitely faster than Lomachenko's. He had the fast twitch muscles. AJ's, again, relatively robotic and robust, so it's quite difficult for him to get for him to maneuver, like how Teofimo maneuvered in that fight. And another thing is, you can't draw the line in the sand against someone like Usyk, because Usyk don't cross the line to hit you. He just goes left or right. And to me, that's why I said that slapping jab, the one where you slap someone, slap him center. That is gonna be so key, because you can't have him attacking you from multiple different angles.
Yeah, and for the people that don't know, like, when an orthodox fighter fights a southpaw, you don't have to necessarily get, your foot over top of, the other guy's foot if you're throwing that slapping left hand, the centering, which is going to get that southpaw to actually move his feet over anyway.
Yeah, moving your feet over to your right. So correct. He's always going to be moving over to your right, because that slapping hook's there. Terence Crawford uses it amazingly. He uses it amazingly when he's in southpaw. He uses that slapping right hand to center his opponent. He's there, slap, right hand center. He uses that all the time, and it's a safe shot because you throw it at long range. It's a very, very safe shot. It's very difficult to counter because it's so far out, and really and truly, you don't really want to hurt anyone. You just want the shot to be in their peripheral, that they think, every time I go here, psychologically, that shot's coming and it's going to knock you center. So what you do is, to slip it, you start moving more and more to your right, or to the opponent's right. And that's the issue. That is the issue. And that's what AJ is going to have to do in that fight. And So it's purely and simply to cut off the angles. You need to figure out a way in which you could, because Usyk doesn't go back in straight lines. He circles all the time. So you have to cut off the angles. You're on mute.
AJ got to take something away.
Yeah.
Like he has to take something away, whether it's the jab, the straight left hand. He has to take away something. To
You
give
know what
himself
I
a
think
chance.
AJ could also do as well? To be all because Usyk's main attacks came from when AJ was trying to attack. That's why I'm so confident that if AJ just came out balls to the wall aggressive, he's getting knocked out. Because all Usyk's best moments came from when AJ was in transition from offense to defense or defense to offense. And to me, if I'm almost AJ, I'm going to apply calculated pressure with my feet, but I'm allow Usyk to be first. Does that make sense, Jeff? So when I'm coming forward, I'm using calculated pressure with my feet. I'm not taking any steps back. But every time this guy throws, I'm just going to throw back. I'm going to have something back. I'm going to throw something back. Just because you got to make a Usyk question when and how he throws his punches. You got to have safe shots as well. Just safe punches that you can land that ain't going to come back with much collateral damage. That's what great fighters have, safe punches. You know, for Errol Spence, it's that jab. You know, he's got that safe shot. That jab will always be there. For Crawford, he's got that slapping jab where he centers you with it. For someone like Fury, obviously relies a lot on dimensions, but Fury's got that flick back wrist where he throws that left hand and he flicks it off the back of his hand.
Almost like a frisbee, like you're
Yeah,
trying to throw a frisbee.
you gotta have a safe shot. That because those shots are shots you can land, point scoring shots, but they relieve pressure. You're touching the target.
Yeah, I think the two things that AJ needs to do, which I think he's not going to do, is that slapping left hook and the lead left hook, slapping lead left hook, or even if he wants to get kind of greedy, if he wants to throw a lead right hand and a slapping left hook over top, but just keep it light.
Like,
And then he would really benefit from some feints. But AJ's not a feint guy.
no,
Like everything that I would say he needs to do, I've never seen him do it. And we both said that he's one of the more gifted offensive fighters in the heavyweight division. We've been saying that for years, but it's just, Usyk is the Rubik's Cube. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't come into this game with checkers moves. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you really can't. Like that's the difficult part about this fight.
You think
With Joshua.
you think Joshua will mentally break in this fight at some point?
I could see it happening. I could see it happening.
And out of curiosity, if AJ lost, so a lot of people were saying that he should retire after. Do you think he should retire after?
Say it again, bro.
Yeah, do you think he should retire after?
Nah. Keep going. I'll be right back.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, I don't know where Jeff left off. Obviously, yeah, we were just talking about the fights. To be honest, I am. How can I say? I'm about 75% sure that AJ loses this fight, purely and simply because I don't think he has enough in his arsenal and he's got too much vulnerabilities that Usyk can take advantage of. There's actually more fights. We actually haven't spoken about the Zhang versus Hergovic fight or Navarrete. The Lipinets versus Figueroa. I actually think the Lipinets versus Figueroa fight may actually be the best fight of the weekend. You know, because I think both fighters are going to come to win. Lipinets got a point to prove. Figueroa's got a point to prove. Lipinets come forward, fight aggressive. Figueroa come forward, fight aggressive. I think with Lipinets having like natural punch power and the overall aggression from from Figueroa, again, Omar Figueroa, so not Brandon Figueroa. That just makes it much more of a how can I say? competitive style matchup, you know, because Lipinets isn't going to just let his hands go and throw. It's more about quality for Lipinets, whereas Figueroa is more about quantity. Did I say that wrong? For Figueroa, it's more about quantity, and for Lipinets, it's more about quality. You know, and to me, I feel like there's a chance that Lipinets can get outworked over the stretch, but there's also a chance that Figueroa can land something real sweet on him. You know, and that is what Figueroa has to worry about. The biggest issue is the fact that it's a last minute late replacement. And Figueroa's probably been in camp fighting against someone who's polar opposite to Lipinets, in the sense that Lipinets is very disciplined, you know, aggressive, you know, got good power. And he's coming in there with a lot to prove. You know, he's gonna have a lot more fire in his stomach than Broner did. You know, and I'm pretty sure Brandon Figueroa was probably in camp thinking all I need to do is throw punches, and all I need to do is throw punches, and that will be enough to stop Broner or even beat him down the stretch. Now he's fighting Lipinets, who he's got a lot more fire in his stomach. You know, it's a massive adjustment. You know, not only you have to worry about what's the mental side of Lipinets, the fact that he's going to be much more mentally prepared, he's going to have much more ambition than Adrian Broner would have, but he's going to just throw more punches than Adrian Broner. So you can't just worry about just over outworking him. That would have probably been the game plan if he was fighting AB. You know, just go out there. I know over the course of 12 rounds, I'm going to outwork AB, and it's going to be enough for me to get the win. I don't think that's going to be enough for him to beat Lipinets. That's just me being honest. If I was to make a prediction, I ain't made my predictions yet, but if I was to make a prediction, I'd probably predict. It's a tough one because I do think Lipinets can actually win the fight as well, but I actually don't know. I could also see a draw in this fight as well. I'm not quite sure who I can see winning this fight. You know, it's definitely a much more competitive fight than the AB fight because naturally, AB just doesn't let his hands go. And against someone as active as Figueroa, it's probably going to be an easy 12-round decision. I can see this fight being relatively controversial as well. If I had to put money down and bet on who would win, it would probably be. I'm gonna go Figueroa on points. And the only reason I'm gonna go Figueroa on points because I think it might be relatively controversial. I do think Lipinets has the ability to stop Figueroa, but I also feel like Lipinets may outwork. I mean, Figueroa may outwork Lipinets down the stretch, and that's where I feel like it's gonna be a controversial fight, regardless, man. I don't think it's gonna be straightforward for either fight, and I just feel they're gonna give it to Figueroa just based on activity. You know, judges like people who are coming forward, and I just feel like even if he's missing, even if the shots aren't landing, the judges are gonna just sway towards him in a close round. And to me, I feel there's gonna be multiple swing rounds. You know, in a 12-round fight, you're probably looking at maybe 5, 6 swing rounds, maybe minimum at least 4 swing rounds. And yeah, that's all you really need for someone like a Brandon Figueroa, because a judge is going to lean in your favor purely and simply because you're just the more active fighter. You're going to be the one coming forward. It's going to be interesting to see who takes steps back though, because I've seen Lipinets try to fight off the back foot at times as well. But generally speaking, he likes to fight mid-range and he likes to let off some power punches, you know, so he wants to be in there. He wants to be up and close and center. So for Lipinets, I think, yeah, he's gonna be looking to land something big, get a big shot off on Figueroa, and from there it's gonna be a tough fight, man. I think I am leaning towards Figueroa on points, but I do think it's gonna be controversial.
I got Lipinets, yo.
What stoppage?
Decision.
I think it's gonna be a close fight. I think
I
the
think so.
judges are gonna like Figueroa's work rate, but then, as I said, Lipinets is quality. You see my point? Lipinets got
Yeah.
more quality punches rather than
When you
quantity that you see
when you
from
was when you was off, that's the same thing I said. I was like Lipinets throws the more
quality
sharper
punches.
shots,
Yeah,
yeah, quality shots.
the
So it's
point
really gonna be
scoring
quality
punches.
versus volume. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and I said,
usually
go on.
quality versus volume usually means a draw.
And swing rounds tend to just be is pretty difficult. The only thing is, which was making me question the Lipinets thing is, you gotta remember, I would lean towards Lipinets. I understand why you said it because Figueroa has been in camp training for AB, and AB fights so different to Lipinets. AB Brandon Figueroa would have probably been thinking, all I need to do is outwork this dude down 12 rounds and I win, because AB doesn't have the same heart, the same discipline, the same aggression than Lipinets has. So all Brandon Figueroa really needed to do was, if I throw a lot of punches, I'm gonna outwork this dude because this dude just pot shots, and that's
I
not
don't
gonna be
think
enough
he
to win.
yeah, I don't think he even had a defensive strategy probably.
No,
Because
probably not.
he just wasn't expecting any shots to be thrown.
And now he's changing his opponent. It's probably worked to his detriment, to be honest.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. That that's gonna be a good fight, bro. That's gonna be a good fight. Like, um, I prefer this fight way more than Figueroa AB. Like
But
A AB like that class clown to be talking shit, and then when you get him out in the schoolyard, he just don't do nothing.
yeah,
That's that's AB.
he's like a foot gesture, bro. He's just like a literally like he's not no substance to him, bro. No substance.
Absolutely, man. But
What do you think
we
about
gon-
Zhang and Kurgovich?
I think Herkovich gonna stop him.
In what round?
I say 6,
I was gonna say round 4.
4. I can see that happening.
I think
I
the
can see
first
that
few
happening for
rounds,
sure.
Hergovich is going to be relatively reserved. I think he's going to hurt him in round 3 and stop him in round 4. I just feel like Zhang's got power, so Hergovich ain't going to
Okay.
be reckless up front.
Yeah,
And he
I can
knows
see
he
that
can beat
happening.
you on the jab early. Like Hergovich
Yeah.
knows I can beat you to the jab early. Once he gets the rhythm and the timing, bro, and Zhang don't have the speed, neither does he have the defense. He's gonna walk him onto something big. And
Yeah. Herkovich should have a jab clinic uh first quarter of the fight. So
I want to ask Jeff about the
go ahead, bro.
I want to ask Jeff about who else is on the undercard. Buddy Jack Riviera.
I haven't seen Badu Jack in a while.
That's a
Like
problem.
that's a problem. Like that's one of them fights where I just gotta wait. I'm assuming Badu Jack should win the fight, but Badu Jack has been through a lot of shit. Like he had
I
the
think
real
Buddy
bad
Jack,
cut.
and then he had
Hmm.
some controversial decisions: the James DeGale decision, the Adonis
Yeah,
Stevenson decision, the Jean
he's
Pascal
been through a
decision.
he's been through a lot. So I don't know mentally where is
I,
he at.
Facts, and I never understood why he moved to cruiserweight. To be honest, because I didn't even think he was a big light heavyweight.
Nah, I didn't understand it. I didn't understand it. I don't. He didn't look like a big light heavy. Like and that's where all the action is. So
I
I
mean,
don't.
it's a. What do you think about Tabiti? Tabiti's fighting James Wilson. I don't know if you guys know who James Wilson is. James
Yeah,
Wilson, like he's really known for Instagram. Like
yeah,
he's got a big Instagram following, and obviously he trains his children. So that's what makes a lot of people know him because of his intense training with his kids, which
yeah,
I think is nothing but inspirational. But
yeah,
like
yeah,
as a fighter, he's just way too muscle bound. I don't know how he
yeah,
fights against Tabiti though, because like if there's one thing I know Tabiti can do, Tabiti can move, bro.
that's a
And
fact.
weighing that heavy after 2-3 rounds of moving, bro, and you throwing intense heavy punches, those your energy is gonna drain real quick, real
Tabini
quick.
Tabini could get a TKO. He
But
could get a
he
TKO.
just doesn't have the power.
Yeah, he's like the Paulie Malignaggi of cruiserweights, man. Like he ain't got
He
no
wants to move the
stand up shot.
heavyweight though.
He's a damn fool. He a damn fool, man. I get it because that's where the money fights are, but like he get the hospital bed ready, like because if you need to know how he takes a shot, just cue up the Dorticos fight. Cue up the Dorticos fight, and that's all you need to see. Like, and he fought, and Shane was in the building that night. Like,
Yeah.
he fought timid. Like, he fought timid against Dorticos, and Dorticos can crack at cruiserweight. So just
But
imagine him in there with a dude 230, 240. I'd be, I couldn't even enjoy watching that fight. Like, I'd just be nervous. Like,
yeah.
but anybody that's been in the ring with Tabiti, like, um, sparring or otherwise, I haven't heard one person say like Tabiti can crack.
But apparently though, in lead up to the AJ fight, he was doing well against AJ though. Like I heard he was doing well. I don't know if I don't think he dropped him or hurt him. I heard he was doing well against AJ in
Yeah,
the lead up to the Ruiz
that's
rematch.
yeah, but that's something that I would expect because I'm like AJ is robotic, he's stiff, he's not gonna move that much. He probably wasn't fully focused. He just wanted to get a guy in front of him that can move, had some speed.
Yeah, so
So
he
I
can.
can imagine him.
Yeah. It's like situational sparring.
Yeah, and he can't, and it wouldn't have been a good thing for AJ to get Tabiti up out of there anyway, because you're not gonna find a guy with that much speed, with that size. You know what I mean? He probably was
He
going to
would
be one of the
he
perfect
would have been
sparring
good if
partners.
you got him in camp for this fight. To be honest,
Facts,
I mean,
facts.
to me, if I was picking AJ's sparring partners to beat, it would have been one. I would have sparred nothing but cruiserweights, bro. Nothing but people you can move. I would have brought in Michael Hunter if I could. I would have brought in Tabiti. I would have brought in what Southpaw would I have brought in? I would have tried to bring in Otto Wallin.
Otto Wallen, yeah.
Or, I would have done everything. Like I would have brought in. Who else is there that I could have tried to bring in? Like,
Otto Wallen probably would have been the perfect.
yeah, perfect person. He would have been my main sparring partner, Otto
Yeah,
Wallin.
yeah.
Southpaw, movement, you know. I would even try to bring in someone with real good head movement, even though I know he doesn't, like an Oscar Rivas, for example. Right.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a fact. It's man, that's gonna be tough sledding for it's gonna be tough sledding for AJ, man. And it's like a part of me wants to see him win, but like my boxing brain is like, bro, it ain't happening. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it ain't happening, man, for sure. Like, but we got some real good fights, man. We got some real good fights this weekend, man. I'm just going to bring this back up before we get up out of here, man. G5JeffTV.com, man. Get on there, join the Prediction Fantasy League, and show it to y'all one more time. So it's basically how the screen look, and you just click play. You know, I'm already at the take your pick, but if you scroll down, Usyk Joshua, pick it. Badu Jack Rivera, pick it. Herkovich Zhang, pick it. Figueroa Lipinets, pick it. Navarrete, pick it. And it just asks for your name, your email, who's going to win, how they going to win, and then what round. And that's pretty much it, man. Chris G said, y'all think Zhang got a chance? No, I don't. If Zhang don't hit Herkovich with something big in the first 2-3 rounds, man, you can forget it. You know what I mean? But big shout out to my boxing son, Chris G, man, for sure, man. But we're gonna close this drawing out, man. Hour 10 minutes strong, man. Had some technical stuff going on. But we just wanted to jump on here, show our faces before the fights Saturday. We probably jump on early tomorrow too. Give you a game day preview. You know what I'm saying? But listen, man, on behalf of Boxing First Vlog, VP Shane and your boy G5 Jeff TV, man, this was episode 115 of the Goodfellas podcast. And we'll probably be back tomorrow, man. So hope we all enjoy the fights and we're gonna chop it up.